I feel like I got to just start with the question that everybody is asking right now is, have you read the books? Did you read the books before you got the part or after?
Yeah, so basically I was fully like aware of Percy Jackson before getting the role. And my mom did read my brother and I the first couple books when we were little, but I didn't read them myself until after I got the role. But now I'm like a huge fan. I'm like a certified fan. Like I got so invested in the story, and it was hard for me to put the books down once I started.
So you know pretty much everything with Luke, then what's going to happen with him.
Yeah.
Given what's in store for Luke in the series as a whole, what book would you be most excited to adapt in future seasons?
The Sea of Monsters would be really fun just because I'm like basically on a yacht the whole time.
Yeah,
So that would be cool. But also, and hopefully that's season two. So hopefully we get picked up.
hopefully,
Um,
yeah.
but I think book like the Battle of the Labyrinth or the Last Olympian would also be really cool. Just because Luke is a little he's a little possessed. Yeah. I don't know if I can say that, but
It could be many things. Look,
yeah,
it's
no, he has different color eyes in those books. So that's all I'll say about that.
yeah, yeah,
um,
no.
I think that'd be really fun. Yeah, to explore all that for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot to work with there with Luke, for sure. So for the Camp Half-Blood scenes, you had these like large ensemble groups. How cool is it to work in that kind of atmosphere and to get to work with so many young actors on set every day?
It was amazing. Walking onto Camp Half Blood for the first time was surreal. It was I can't even explain it. Like the feeling was insane. Just seeing and like all that, like some of it in the show is VFX, but most of what you see was like real. Like that was there. Like they fully built those cabins in the middle of the forest, and it was like probably the most insane set I've ever been on. And I truly felt like I was in Camp Half Blood. Like it didn't feel like a set, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and even like Hermes' cabin was insane. Like it like it looks pretty cozy in the show, and it felt as cozy as it looks. Like we were in there, and there was like a fire going, and there was like I remember there was an owl that like was just hanging around the area that day. I think it's in one of like the teaser trailers or something, and that wasn't like
Okay.
planned. I don't think. Like I think they straight up just like saw that owl like
It's just
in
the
the area,
vibe.
and it was like drizzling, and yeah, it was just you. I truly felt like I was like at Camp Half Blood. But yeah, no, and working with like obviously working with the cast was so much fun. I love all those people so much, and they're so talented and hardworking and just amazing. And I definitely had most of my scenes with Walker, and it's his birthday today, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, happy birthday, Walker. Didn't know
Birthday
that.
Walker. Um, but yeah, I really hope it's just the beginning because I hope we can work together for years and years to come. Yeah.
And you brought up Walkers, so my next question kind of involves him. I've heard that he got to take Riptide home with him, and I was
Yeah.
wondering if you got to take anything home. Were there any souvenirs that you got to take from set?
Yes. I have my you know how like on set they have the chairs where like the cast sits.
Yeah.
Mine says like Luke Castellan, and I have my like banner from my chair. And then I don't know. I'm gonna be vague with this answer as well, but Walker did send me a sword. He like stole one of the swords from set and sent it to me. I'm not gonna say which sword that is, but he did send me a sword that I have currently
Okay.
in my room. So yeah,
He stole a lot of swords from set, is what I'm getting. There's
yeah,
a lot that just went missing.
yeah. He stole quite a bit, I think. But you know what? He's Percy Jackson. Like I
If
think it's
anyone
okay.
could do it, yeah, it's got to be
Anyone can
Percy
do it.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of fitting because Luke is described as an expert swordsman, and I was wondering how much went into kind of preparing for that. Did you have stunt training? Did you have sword
Yeah.
training? I don't know if you can talk about whether or not Luke might get his signature sword this season, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, there was definitely a lot. I mean, just before I even went over there to start filming, I did a lot of just kind of research on my own of I mean, just watching movies. Like I just watched a lot of movies that involved sword fighting. Like I watched Troy with Brad Pitt and he plays Achilles, which was fitting because same universe basically, I guess.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I watched like was it 300 and like Gladiator, like all those movies that just have like crazy sword fighting, just to kind of I don't know get the feel of it. And then yeah, when I got to set, we did like so much stunt work with and the Percy stunt team is like they were amazing. They really made us look good, and working with them was so much fun. That was definitely a highlight for me. Actually, was all the stunt training because I even as a kid, like I loved doing sword like battles with my friends just on the street with like those Nerf swords. And so getting to like do that as like work was like a dream come true basically.
I feel like the Camp Half-Blood sets gave you a lot of room to play around with different things. Like there was the archery scene
Mm.
with Walker. Was there a particular set within Camp Half-Blood that you were like you really liked hanging out on, or that you really enjoyed getting to film on?
That archery scene was actually my first day filming, I think that was my first day on
Okay.
set. And I remember it was so much fun, but I remember it like we were in like this field and it was so dry and so hot and we were just like there all day and the sun was like blazing down on us and everyone so many people were just like sneezing and like because everyone was having allergies and my lips were like crackling because they were just so dry. So it reg- besides that, that was like really fun. But I think also like when we're in kind of like the blacksmith, like when he's like doing that, you remember like right after the archery, he's like trying to see if he's like a Hephaestus kid. I think that was a really cool like little set that they made. And that was literally like right next to the Hermes cabin or no, where was it? It was like in that area. Like that wasn't like a studio. Like they also made that just like
Okay. Yeah.
like in the forest. But I got a really funny picture of Walker that I actually put on my Instagram wearing like those goggles and everything.
Yeah, the giant goggles. This is
Yeah,
hilarious.
he looks a little bit like a minion. So yeah, that's where I got that iconic picture. So I think that was one of the coolest parts of Camp Half Blood. Oh, but also okay, sorry, I'm going on and on. But
No, it's fascinating. Please do.
also the dining pavilion where kind of like where Percy fights Clarice at the end of Capture the Flag. That like water that you see there that he gets pushed into, that was like the most insane water I've ever seen in my life. Like it was literally like turquoise. It was
Oh.
beautiful. It was like the forest right there, and then they had like the dining pavilion like right there. Again, like I truly felt like I was on Camp Half Blood. Like it was so surreal.
It's just this huge playground, just that you get to, muck around in, and there's all these characters too. And one of the questions that I had was, you got a lot of scenes with Percy, but were there other characters that like you would have wanted more scenes with, that you would have liked to have explored those relationships a little bit more during the Camp Half-Blood scenes?
Yeah, because Luke and Annabeth have such a history, like they go way back. And I think it would have been cool to like maybe explore their relationship a bit more. But also in the books, I don't really think they interact that much. So they were, you know, and also like Annabeth she was busy keeping an eye on Percy for most of that time. Uh, but yeah, no, I think what I think even with the little time that I got to film with Leah, like it comes across that like they have a connection there. They have like a little brother or big brother, little sister kind of relationship. So
Another relationship I kind of wanted to talk to you about was your on-screen TV dad. Lin-Manuel Miranda is playing Hermes. Did you get to touch base with him, kind of talk father-son bonding?
believe it or not, I still actually haven't met him. Unfortunately, I really want to soon. But we do have this like kind of funny online banter going on where I don't know, like I remember when he got cast, I like commented on the post and I was like, Dad, dot dot dot, and then he responded, he's like, Son. And then we just had like a few moments like that, and then he also actually sent me the nicest message after he watched the first two episodes. and he just was so nice and very gave me a lot of compliments, and it was really nice to receive that message. Um and so I wrote back to him, obviously, and we've been talking a little bit.
Looking past Percy Jackson, to other projects, is there a specific genre that you really like or a medium that you would like to try? Something that you're really interested in?
I mean, I did work on this voiceover animated project called In the Know, which is actually coming out on Peacock in on January 25th. And that was super fun. I've never worked on a voiceover thing before, so that was definitely a whole new world for me. But I had a blast, and I got to work with like Mike Judge and Zach Woods and Brandon Gardner and all these incredibly talented people. Um, and so yeah, I hope we can continue to do that. But also I think just I do want to break into like the world of film maybe a bit more, because I've worked on, you know, 3 shows now, which has been amazing, and I like have had the time of my life. But yeah, no, I think it would be cool to maybe do like a little, I don't know, like a little film here and there, like cool little independent film or something. I don't know.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me about Luke and about Percy Jackson and Olympians. I'm really
Thank you.
excited to see where the season goes and where Luke
Yes.
ends up at the end, because we don't know.
We don't know. It's a mystery. Who knows? Uh, yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. It was great to talk to you.